we've got a lot of Bronze ethnic Americans waking up to their true Indigenous American heritage today. Especially by this time in 2023, a lot of Bronze people are doing genealogical research and finding which specific tribe that they actually came from, and that they used to own land, whether it be like 1 acre, normally large patches of land they're finding out they used to own and somehow lost, or whoever owned it and their family died and never passed on to their will, or it was sold or stolen, or they were chased off from it. But I find something very interesting. Now, the government only recognizes tribes, right? So even though, right, you go and do genealogical research and you find out which tribe you are, that doesn't mean you should automatically go and basically beg these Mongoloid Indians and these Caucasians who are living on these reservations to join these tribes, because we were never really supposed to be a tribal people. We were a governmental people. So all of our civilizations, whether it be North America with the ancient Mississippian culture and ancient Mississippian people who built what we now call the Cahokia Mountains in Illinois, all the way down to South America when we speak of the Mayans and the Incas and the Aztecs and even the Olmec civilization, those were governments that we ran. We did not operate as a tribal people from the very beginning. Tribes, in our case, comes about when a civilization or a government has broken down and you try to put together the remainder of what you now have. You try to bring the scraps together and bring the pieces together to try and keep a semblance of the civilization that you once had. It's not necessarily that we were supposed to be a tribal people. It's just that by the time we were classified into tribes, our civilizations had collapsed. And instead of uniting again as one government like we used to, each tribe or each individual decided they wanted to do whatever they wanted to do. And so that caused division, which is why the Caucasians and all these other foreigners were able to come in and take over the continent, because we were divided and we wanted to stay divided. We didn't want to come together under one leader, under one rulership, and follow orders and have a law and a structure. We were too used to being on our own. However, that divide and conquer technique is what these foreigners use to basically put us where we are in the predicament that we are today, which is the bottom of the barrel of society. Got you living a lie, got you calling yourself black and African American and Negro and all these other false terminologies because you can't remember who you are, and you willingly embraced these false names, these false titles that give no clue as to heritage, as to ethnicity, as to nothing. Because black is nothing, African American is nothing. Africa is a continent. That doesn't tell you where you came from. It doesn't tell you about your culture, about your lineage, about your heritage. All that it tells you and the rest of the world is that you started off as a slave. And you say, oh well, my family descended from this tribe or that tribe. What's even more powerful is to say, I am a descendant of this American indigenous government, this American indigenous civilization. And so they don't want us to think about the fact that this place had an actual government. It wasn't just different tribes living in this place and just dotted around the landscape trying to survive on their own. No, that came way after our governments had collapsed here. So they want to keep you thinking in a tribal mindset instead of a governmental mindset, a mindset of law and order, because that is power. That is what rules a country, a continent. That is what rules the world, not tribalism.
It's for real. They said the Mayans was talking about 2012. Then they said the Mayans disappeared. I'm here to tell my people it's time to stop believing bullshit. Just cause a motherfucker tell you bullshit with a straight look on their face. We too old, we too smart, we too motherfucking good to believe shit don't make no fucking sense.
We're in a time and an era where all tribes, all tribal beliefs, all divisions, all separations, all sects that are present, that were present in the past millennium and the last millennium going back, all the separatism is going to come to an end. All of that's going to come to an end. It's going to be buried. Because the true people of the Lord, I'm not talking about the people who are following other people. I'm talking about the true people of the Lord whose true name is Amun, will be under one flag, one language, one direction, one mind, one body, one soul of people. It's not going to be any divisions. It's not going to be no tribes. A lot of people got stuck in the past. A lot of our people got stuck in the past. They got into that tribal mentality. They got into that nomadic and tribal mentality, that Israelite mentality, that African mentality. You understand? They got caught up in that. And they stopped being governmental people. After they left out of Egypt, they stopped being governmental people. They got caught up in traditions and customs that could no longer help them.